Whoa. Hey, everyone. How's it going? Dramatic countdown. I love it. I didn't have my normal assets. I just kind of double played everything here. Let's do some confetti. Amazing. Uh, I'm just streaming today instead of streamer because I'm on the road. So I love just doing random confetti things. I'm streaming to LinkedIn. I decided that I was going to connect to LinkedIn. So if you're on LinkedIn, I'm there. I think I can see the comments. We'll see how it goes. I see the YouTube. Oh, we got the Pierce going on here. I don't know. Maybe do I have to play it to actually like see the comments coming? I'm not actually sure how LinkedIn. Hey, Pierce, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Oh, we got John Galloway in the chat. He's a moderator. Oh my. Okay, I actually have to play on LinkedIn to see it. That's very fascinating, and all of them are coming through. Very, very fascinating. Oh, Victor, thank you so much over there. Thanks everybody. Oh, if I just have the confetti on loop, I didn't realize that did it. Just does it over. If I want it from the bottom, it could just go from the bottom. I'm inspired by John Galloway in the chat. Appreciate that over there as well. Oh, thanks. Appreciate that. Hoping next year Tunisia coming for you. There you go. And endorse for streaming on LinkedIn. I think so. I don't know. I signed up for a creator account, so I guess it counts. It's kind of cool when you go to LinkedIn. You can actually see like it's just like it's streaming on the main page. It's kind of crazy. I got to stop this. I'm going to go crazy. There we go. Just excuse there's a StreamYard assets catalog that has all that stuff built in. Well, thanks everybody for coming and coming in. Suma, thank you so much. Praveen, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Pierce, thank you. Ananas, thank you so much. John, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Yeah, 38 years old today. That's a day. That's cool. Oh, it's her wife's birthday too. Awesome. Well, happy birthday to her. And I think also up top was Raphael. Happy birthday to you as well. I'm coming for you. For that 40. It's coming soon. Thanks everybody. Super appreciate it. I was inspired by another streamer called The Plain Bagel. You can find him on YouTube. He's a financial YouTuber. He's actually like a financial advisor like in Canada. But he has a really great YouTube channel and he does one stream a year, which is his birthday stream. And he's done it for 3 years. So I was inspired to do like a Q&A, AMA, anything type of situation. I've done them before on the channel and they go, okay, 30, 45 minutes, something like that. But the whole idea is that, I used to stream every single week, just like, Fritz does nonstop. And I changed over to do more YouTube style stuff several years ago during the pandemic. And we grew the channel and got to continue, teaching people stuff, which is like my passion. I love it. And at work and outside of work. And this is my birthday. I just kind of took a lunch stream, if you will, even though it's 10 o'clock. I'm just taking a very short lunch today, like 20-minute lunch later. Just figured hang out with all y'all and you kind of answer some questions. I used to obviously answer tons of questions live on all the live streams when I was on Twitch and I was streaming nonstop on YouTube. But since over a little bit, there we go. Since I've been doing more regular videos almost every single week on the channel, you haven't streamed as much. It's a big commitment, as you can imagine, to be streaming nonstop and every single week. And it's dedication. It's hard to do all of them, especially if you're have a full-time job to try to do videos and do this. And, you want to have some personal lifetime as well. So, so I wanted to kind of do the birthday stream, see if there's anything. Oh, there's actually closed captions on LinkedIn. Very fascinating. Oh, there you go. Get myself there. Perfect. So I just want to kind of check in, see if people have questions, comments about anything. That's the thing too, is, I think with the AMA type of style, you can ask literally anything at all. So I try to answer as much as I can. Appreciate all the birthday wishes. I'm not actually a big birthday person. A lot of people ask me, well, James, you're doing this birthday stream. You must love yourself and love birthdays. I'm actually not really into birthdays. I think I sort of, it's just like a day. And like I'm working today at 11 o'clock. I have a one-on-one with one of my reports, which is rad. And yeah, so just normal type of stuff. I planted some trees yesterday outside, and then today just gonna water those trees, and then I think we'll go out to dinner, and that's probably about it. I'm not really a huge person. in general. I would say when it comes to birthdays, I don't mind celebrating birthdays, but I don't really want anything, don't need anything. Just another day. Although it is a great day to be born. If you celebrate Christmas at all, you'll know that 6/25 is exactly 6 months before and after Christmas. So it's, as a child, it's a perfect, it's a perfect, 6 month in between gift giving season. So thanks, parents. Cool. I love questions. Let's get into it. We got the next 45 minutes ish there. John asked, what kind of trees did we plant? Great question. So we actually planted 3 different things. We planted some a tree and then 2 flower shrubs things. I'm going to make sure I star these so I get back to everybody here as questions come in. Do that, do that, do that. There we go. Oh, I love questions. Keep them coming. Okay, I'm starting them all as they come in so I can do this. So the first one that we planted tree-wise is Heather's always wanted a palm tree. We lived in Arizona for a long time. Palm trees are anywhere, and California as well, John. Palm trees. So we did a windmill palm. And at the nursery, the plant nursery, they had a bunch of them out, and they looked like they did great. So that's cool. So we planted one of those, and it's pretty sandy out here, so we had to get some nice soil to put underneath it there. And then we also planted a lilac, which is not a tree, but that is a bush shrub flower thing. They get really tall. We're trying to like kind of block some of the neighbor type of stuff, but we want pretty stuff, not just like a pine tree or something, which is very common to do. So we planted one of those, and those grow pretty fast, which is really awesome. And that's Heather's favorite flower. And then we also planted a rhododendron. Rhodies are very popular over here, and they're very pretty. They only flower just like lilacs, like actually a little bit longer than lilacs, usually for about a month or so in the spring. Super pretty. We have tons of rhodies in the yard already, so we just wanted more rhodies. So there's like so all sorts of stuff. So that's what we planted. All right, cool. Keep the questions coming. Appreciate it. Pierce, what beliefs do you have at 38 that you would surprise your 30-year-old self? Beliefs. It's a good question. Well, so about 8 years ago, Pierce and I joined Microsoft, and others as well. So that was July 1st, 2016 would have been Xamarin acquisition finalization day 1 at Microsoft, actually. So 8 years at Microsoft officially. If I looked at my LinkedIn page where I'm streaming on LinkedIn, there. I think I was a very different person then. Obviously changed careers, being a manager now, which we've talked about pretty heavily. I think the thing, and Pearson, you've talked about the most is there's, I wouldn't say necessarily a belief, but there's a book specifically that I read. I've read a few books, read at least 2 books since that time. One, I think beliefs is that I should be reading more books in general. Like if I was just better, I should just like read way more books. The other one is this book, Die with Zero, which is a fantastical book that I wish that I read earlier. It has a lot to do with not like a money book necessarily, but it's like a money psychology book in a way. But I think I would have tried to really focus more on life work balance and maximizing my time in my early 30s. I think this is like always looking back for everyone. I wish I did more. I mean, I think we did awesome stuff. We obviously traveled a lot for work and for personal. I think I would have just taken more time. I think that I would have tried to really enrich that time that I took and maximize it more and try to always create more experiences, especially in traveling for work. You're just kind of always jumping around from here to there. So I think I would have done that. Some beliefs there. I think the one that I believe is like, I never thought I would own a house, and now I do own a house. So that's kind of cool. I mean, I blame Heather, but that's right. I never thought I would. So I guess that's the one belief that I just thought I would rent forever. Now we own a house, and we remodeled that house. I never thought I'd remodel a house as much as we could, but yeah, I guess that's it. But I would say the Die with Zero book has really changed everything, how I look at everything, kind of looking at time, health, and wealth, and that triangle, and figuring out how to make these memory dividends to really maximize the time that we have left, but utilizing the money that we have, and utilizing the health that we have there. I probably would have saunaed a lot more. We're huge into sauna now. I never thought I'd be like a huge sauna person. We sauna like 6 times a week, I would say. So nonstop sauning. Whenever we go on holidays, we sauna. So beliefs there. So, but I'm still to my identity core beliefs the same. Still pretty liberal. Still pretty non-religious there. Good question. Okay, so let's bust through. We got a lot more. Oh, thanks everyone. Wow, I got so many questions. Okay, so let's see. Unstar. Lucas says, do you think we'll ever create a library for managing push notifications and the rest of Maui? Common interface. Well, I mean, Shiny does it today already. There was Azure Notification Hubs, although I haven't really talked to that team in a while, so I'd have to get back. But it's a good question. I don't know. It's kind of hard because I don't know. It's a good question. Good question, Luca. It's a little bit tricky. Like, would that ever go into the essential stuff? Probably not. I don't know. I would probably just like go with Shiny. That's what I would do. Yeah. Oh, you know what I should do also, because it's like a little bland in here. Let me put on little lo-fi. Nice. Just a tiny bit of music. But not okay. I'll see you. That's good. Okay. Uh, Rikudo. Rikudo. Let's see. Honest question. Honest answer. Honest question. Honest answer. How many more years do you think you will remain coding? Wow. Um, That's a good question. I don't know. I gotta. Well, I'm 38 right now, so I gotta feel kind of a long time. I guess the question is like, am I coding professionally? Which I well, haven't in quotes professionally for a company since I left or started working for Xamarin like 11 years ago. So because like really when I moved into Xamarin world, I didn't necessarily I started doing advocacy, and like while we were making real apps, like we worked together. Pearson and I made a bunch of apps together, like my driving app and the conference applications. I shipped personal apps like my stream timer and my cadence, and different skiing applications. So that is like professional side there. I mean, I have to imagine like once I like retire that I'd still want to do some coding and stay active. I mean, I just love it. So I'd imagine it depends on where the landscape goes. Like if I'm still doing mobile app dev in a while, then maybe, or desktop app dev. So it depends, but I have to imagine I'll always be tinkering for like ever. I don't know. If there's a computer and there's an IDE, I'm in. There we go. Let's see. Let's see what's next. There we go. Steven asks, thanks for all of your work over the years on mobile. You're welcome. Appreciate it. Have they added a way to manage NuGet packages in VS Code and Maui? Yeah, there's a NuGet package manager inside of VS Code. In the most recent release, you can go in and manage it, and boom, 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 boom. You can do upgrades. You can do all that stuff in there. You can explore. You can search around. There's also like a third-party package manager too that you can install in VS Code. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff. So bam. Let's see. Oh, Luca asks, Luca, I'll come back. I'll star that and I'll come back to you there. Let's see. Oh, awesome. CJ says, happy birthday. Thanks. I hope you have a special day. Me too. I think it'd be great. My wife's always awesome. She's way awesome. That's why I married her. Videos are instrumental in helping me create my college thesis, secure my job. Rad. Congratulations. Wow. Awesome. You're a Maui developer at Chevron. Rad. CJ, that's awesome. Congratulations. That's rad. Oh my God. So many good questions. Keep them coming. Habib asks, can I use Blazor for SharePoint development? I don't know. Pierce? Question mark. That's a good question. I don't know. Let's see. There you go. Tavershima says, had my birthday 2 days ago. Didn't even feel a thing. Just another day. Yeah. The day, but it's a good day. You're born that day. It's a day you can celebrate. I'm not gonna say I'm not like, oh, I woke up. Well, I was born then. I'm just a day older, but it's good. Let's see. Nasir says, what technology stack would you build Android, iOS, and web interface with one code base? Good question. I mean, I think in the world, well, depends. If you want to stay in the world of .NET, then you got 3 options. If you want to do all those, so you can do Blazor hybrid app, super crazy popular, really trending, hard right now. Share code, you still have access to the native underlying platforms, which is a huge benefit, obviously. There, if you want a I mean, the nice thing with Blazor hybrid is you do get to share most of your Razor and Blazor components. There's going to be some things in each project. I have a video coming out this week talking about the new .NET 9 templates that are all in one, going through and creates both of them at the same time. It's really cool, which is nice. Else, depending on your application, you obviously have Uno or you have Avalonia as options as well. Avalonia is a little bit more desktop first, so Uno a little bit more mobile first there, based on what you're looking for in general. But it depends on the type of web app and experience you're looking for. Like if you're looking for more of like a traditional, like, oh, my app is now on the web, then, you know, maybe that Uno route compared to like, oh, I have a very mobile optimized website that's going to like scale on web and different platforms and do a lot of rich things on the web. And then there you might want to look at Blazor hybrid. So like, you know, there's that. Or like, you know, Uno and Flutter, for example, when it comes to web, is like self-drawing. So like it's more in control of the canvas. So it's a little bit different experience, I would say there. But yeah, that's what I would look at. Cool. Adrian, yeah, all questions are great. You don't need to be sorry about questions. That's why it's a AMA. I appreciate that. Alan, thanks for happy birthdays, and Kevin as well. Adrian says, when and how did you get into Microsoft? That's a great question. So I got fairly lucky. Myself and my Xamarin colleagues 8 years ago worked at Xamarin. I was a developer advocate there. So like, my journey, and did I ever do a podcast with Frank on Merge Conflict about it? We did his life. I'm sure my life is somewhere. But, you know, out of college, you know, in college, I made games for the Xbox 360 at the time. And then I went to go work at Canon writing printer software. And then I went to Microsoft conference when they released a Windows Phone, got really into mobile development. And I took a job up in Seattle area to become a mobile developer at a small, tiny company doing DVR hardware and software for TV. And I built all the apps with Xamarin there for 2 years. And I kind of fell in love with the technology, and a job opened up at Xamarin. They reached out to me. I was doing some advocacy work just off to the side here and there. And I interviewed, got the job there, and at Xamarin was like 3.5 years or so. I don't know, Pierce would probably remember more. 3.5 years, I guess, on my LinkedIn. Did advocacy, traveled the world, met people. It was like just fantastic. Just loved it. Just worked with so many amazing people, including Pierce, Mike James, who works at Avalonia now, Joseph Hill, Nat Freeman, Miguel, the entire Maui team at this point, Reth, Peppers, Dave. I mean, so many amazing people. It was really fantastic. And then we were acquired by Microsoft in 2016, and then came over. So we all kind of interviewed for different positions, because my position was, and Pierce's position, and Jamie and my team, and a bunch of other people. The advocacy, like, is it more in PM side? Is it more engineering side? Like, where does it biz dev? Where does it fall? So we kind of interviewed with a few different teams to see where we fit, and we all kind of became PM. So kind of fell into it, which was lucky, I would say. Didn't have to interview. I mean, I did interview, but I already had the job. You know what I mean? So kind of fell into it. But you know, we have a great internship program at Microsoft. A few of my team members are from the internship program, school program, and then obviously interviewing, getting in, things like that. But that's how I got here. Yeah. Now it's been 8 years, which is kind of crazy. So as Swaron asks, will Maui be deprecated in the future? I mean, if the future is indefinite amount of time, everything eventually becomes deprecated, but I do not see anything in the foreseeable future at all. No, Maui's just on a we can see the numbers, obviously, and you can see the track numbers and NuGet and stuff. It's on a pretty great trajectory, and the team's crushing it right now and doing monthly updates. It's really awesome. Ooh, Guhan asks, thanks for teaching. Happy birthday. Thank you, thank you, thank you. How was your initial phase of your career? Well, it depends. There's a lot of career. I mean, all my career was awesome. I loved every person I've worked with. I loved all the companies I've worked with. My time at the game studio was awesome. Lifelong friends. That was during college and right after. My time at Canon was fantastic. It was a big enterprise, a lot of big architecture, big teams. It was all like WinForms and .NET 2, and we did migrations to 3.5 and deployment of huge enterprise software. It was fantastic there, which was great. And, you know, my time at Seton, where I did like the mobile development, was just like a rush. It was kind of like a startup before I worked at a startup because it was just a few people. And then, you know, I think it was like development, and then advocacy and developer relations is a whole different ball game. You know, it's a lot of interacting and teaching and training. And I just kind of fell into it and fell in love with it, and brought me here now. And, you know, Microsoft, through the years, we moved around from actually like, we owned parts of the product as far as PM goes, product management goes, program management. And then we kind of went up and down there. And then now in my role, you know, in our developer community team, we oversee engaging with the community, growing the product, helping different parts of developer engagement across a different team. And now I manage a team of 6 people. So I never thought I'd be a manager, but I love being a manager and helping people, you know, further their career goals and do so much. So it's really great. So let's see. Can you explain how hot reload interacts and data binding and state in .NET Maui? No, I have no idea. It's magic. Magic. Hold on. Where's it at? Magic. I wish I do. I have no idea. How do I get back to my thing? Oh, where's my thing at? There we go. It's gonna keep going. Cool. I guess I have to stop this. Huh? I'm gonna stop this first. Okay, there it is. Put this back. Perfect. Okay, cool. And we're back, people. Is Maui still worth learning? Of course. What do you feel? Let's see. Mark says, what do you feel has been the most challenging aspect of transitioning from Xandr to Maui for you personally? Just finding the time to do it, pretty much. I mean, the upgrade assistant's super good at this point. There. Oh, the music's a little loud. Let me turn it down then a little bit. If that's, I'll turn it down even lower. I guess I'm like really far down in the comments. Hopefully that John is a little bit better. Yeah. I'll talk a little bit louder into my microphone. Thanks, John. That was like 10 minutes ago because I'm like so far behind. That's the only problem with like stuff. That's about pretty much it. Just time, just figuring out time to do it. You know, the tool is pretty great. I don't really have a lot of custom renderers or anything like that. It's been pretty easy. There. Thanks, John. What's the best to learn for a mobile device starting in 2024? Well, I mean, it's a good question. I would dabble, like if I were starting now and I was just like, I had like time to dabble around, I would do a really small POC in a bunch of different things. Like it depends. I mean, it depends if you know different programming languages, you want to stick with one programming language. You know, like when I was starting, I went and I just sort of did the hello world and kind of like, you know, to-do-esque application in a bunch of programming languages. Like I wasn't like a web person, but I tried like the Titanium at the time and PhoneGap and those different things to see how they played out. Like I'll play around with like Xcode and Swift a little bit, like see how that feels, like what the dev environment looks like. I maybe play around with Android Studio, and I like try Maui, and I try, you know, Uno and Evalonia, and I would try Flutter out. I would just kind of like play around with all of them. I traditionally in my entire life have been a, Android person all my life, but I switched to iOS. So, you know, I would say whatever's in your pocket is like the best thing to start developing for, because you use it every day. So you're going to know the idioms. You're going to like want to actually build something for yourself. And that's like the way to do it, is like start building something for yourself. That's how I got started. I wanted to build a custom like to-do application. So I did it. Yeah. Luca, no, there's definitely push notifications in Shiny. Yep. LinkedIn user, random LinkedIn user. All right, I like that. What goals / dreams do you have for the next 5 to 10 years? Wow. Well, I mean, there's like personal career goals. Um, I think me and my team, like all we want to do is help more people learn uh, our developer technologies at Microsoft, whether that be .NET or Python or JavaScript or Visual Studio or VS Code and testing services or Azure services. We want to help people be successful. So if I do that, that's great. I want to travel to some places. Yeah, I don't know. I want to spend more time with my wife and travel the world and do things with her, pretty much, just as much as I can there. Adrian asks, answer the first question, how to get into Microsoft. Also, I love Maui, but is the direction going towards Blazor Hybrid? It's either or. It depends. If you're a web developer, then Blazor Hybrid's great. If you want Xamarin and C# goodness, you're good there too. So both are totally supported. I mean, the nice thing is like Maui is the vessel for Blazor Hybrid, and Blazor Hybrid is part of Blazor, right? So there's like Blazor sits over here, Maui sits over here, and then Blazor Maui, like hybrid, the stuff sits in the middle. So yeah. There you go. Oh, there you go. Perfect. John gave a great link here, which is the Blazor SharePoint library. Awesome. Nice. Nasir, thank you. Salman, thank you. Mahfouz, thank you. Appreciate it. Oh, cool. Solomon says, first day was like 4 years ago. Awesome. Congrats on your 4 years. That's rad. Mark says, what's the biggest difference between Maui and Xamarin? Well, the biggest difference is how the team re-architected the rendering layer of it. It's not like custom rendering like Uno or Avalonia do, but it's how they're doing the handler system is the biggest architecture of the single project system, how it handles splash screens and image and assets and a bunch of those nice helper things. It pulls essentials into the box. And then from a developer experience, they've done tons of work specifically around those different core areas as well. Obviously, VS Code support, which is rad. And then the actual platforms that it targets to do, right? You remember like Xamarin and Xamarin Forms really targeted iOS and Android first. And Windows was there, but it was kind of ever changing how UWP was changing. It wasn't 100% like complete as far as the toolkit. And then there wasn't really Mac support, although technically I'd ship a Mac support with Xamarin Forms, but it's like wasn't complete. And then with Maui, you get that desktop and mobile support out of the box. That's going on there. Let's see. Luca, another question says, will it be possible to move yellow arrow back and forth doing to do shift debugging? Like when you're doing breakpoints and like I don't know. It's a great question. I don't know. I'd have to the team. The debugger is always a magical, mystical thing, which is great. NNS says, I learned Xamarin 101 from the 101 videos. My very first Xamarin app. These videos help me and my boss with satisfied with the apps. Awesome. No apologies for the English. I barely speak good English at all. So there you go. Awesome. Yeah, it's awesome. It was super rad. I'm glad they did that. And Maddie took over some of the 101 videos, which is super rad. She's doing the same for Maui, which is super cool to see too in the beginner series. So awesome. Michael, thank you so much. Another LinkedIn user. Awesome. Akil says, any update on the future of .NET Maui for Microsoft's vision? I mean, I think, David and Maddie and Beth, they presented at Build about what's kind of upcoming and next. The team's really focused on continuous improvement of the SDK itself and the underlying platforms, keeping up to date and, figuring out the best way to bring in VS Code and finalize that toolkit, which just GA'd. Add more hot reload support, do different things like that. So, and then continuously to improve the, Windows experience as well. It's going on there and tying in, you'll see a lot of different, articles on tying in different AI features into your application, a lot more. So, I'm excited for some of the stuff that I've seen the team sort of play around with in some hackathons and things like that. So I'll kind of see how that go as well. Rukido says, is it TV for watch? I kind of miss that. Is there any hope? I don't think so. The amount of people actually doing this stuff is like so bare minimal that, it'd take away from actually the platform's that really people are like craving. Although I think tvOS support is technically supported, so just not watch. So it's still in there, yeah. Bert asks, well, we'll be doing any labs or workshops at the VS Live events. I'm not doing a lab. There's going to be a .NET Aspire event, the one in a workshop at VS Live Redmond, and I have one session there. I think it's the only public speaking I'm doing. I'm not doing a lot of public speaking anymore, pretty minimal. So if you do happen to catch me, it's a pretty rare exclusive event. I did a few sessions a few months ago in Europe, and Gerald and I did a user group tour driving around, which was really cool and super fun to hang out and then go to a bunch of user groups and conferences. But I don't really see much happening there. Yeah. For VS Live specifically, I think I'm just at the Redmond one. Gerald and Maddie just gave a 2-day workshop, and they have a Blazor hybrid with .NET MAUI workshop. I need to get with Gerald and ask where it's at. They have it done. I'll have to get to them there. Anyways, keep the questions coming. We got a few more backed up here, and we'll take a look there. Let's see. Luke asks, this is from earlier. Do you think we'll create a common UI for all platforms on Maui? I don't know. I think there's like community libraries and projects that kind of already do a lot of that stuff. I can't imagine the team going down that route 100%. Although if you do want exactly the same UI, UX, like you could go down the Blazor hybrid route as well. That would give you exactly that too. As an option, I think that, creating your own custom UI, you have to, there's pros and cons of everything, right? And sometimes you grow out of those pains on either side, by able to add different accessibility features or right to left support or different things like that, scaling those different things. So it's kind of one of those things where you kind of can battle with those things. You're not gonna make everyone happy. Like even if you look like the Flutter route that originally went down of doing kind of that, their main growth ended up being like supplying both Android widgets and iOS widgets. Like I think like the research really shows that's like 50-50. Like 50% of people want like the native UI look and feel on each platform, and then 50% want it to look exactly 100% the same. You know what I mean? So that's sort of out there. There you go. There you go. Oh, John, I like that. Summer recommendations for movies and TV series. That's a good question. Well, The Bear season 3 is coming out, or has coming out soon. Big fan of The Bear. I would also, it's not even a show, but I would highly recommend checking out Maddie Matherson's cooking videos. They're fantastic. He's on The Bear. I didn't realize he was a chef out of Canada, but his YouTube is fantastic. I just great that that is a TV series, and it's in itself there, which is fantastic. I'm currently watching there's a new Bachelor stuff coming out, but if there is, we'll probably watch that. I guess whenever Severance comes out, that'd be fantastic. Oh yeah, The Bear is great. I watched season 1 and season 2 of The Bear fully twice, because I watched it and then I had Heather go back and watch it as well with me. So we're ready for The Bear season 3, which should be fantastic. It's just so good, everything about it. And let me look. I have to look at my Hulu. Why am I logging in with a My Disney? Okay, here we go. Hulu being Hulu. I think we canceled our Apple TV Plus, so I think that we won't have that going on. I'm currently watching. I don't think it's actually a new series, but it's on. No, it's an older series from 2017, 2020, which is called Louder Milk. Which has Ron Livingston in it. It's very good. It's on Netflix. Also, Will Sasso's in it as well. Louder Milk, like one word. Louder is his last name. Technically, it's very good. What else are we watching? Man, we're kind of like Our Hulu is just a bunch of just like reality TV shows. It's like half our jam. I'm always watching The Rookie, but I don't know if another one's out. I just finished Welcome to Wrexham season 3, which was also fantastic as well. I don't know where they're going to go with that. It's a good question. I don't even have any movies on my radar. But yeah, I guess that's it. Some kind of boring. Yeah, that's it. Sorry, John. I gotta think about it. I guess, yeah. We were watching the Royal Palm. I think Royal Palm, the one on Apple TV. But yeah, Luke says thanks for all the answers. You're welcome. Eric, I love that. Love the work you do, Maui. Thank you. It's all the team, not me. I didn't do nothing. Love the tutorials. Awesome. Keep monkeying around. Always will. Always keep those monkeys hanging around. I will enjoy my birthday. I will. There you go. Yeah, so watch The Bear. It's so good. Yeah, all of them are good. So bad, so good. Ooh, great question. Amps Live. If there was in a parallel universe, when there was no Xamarin or Maui, which framework would you pick? Well, that's a good question. Well, if we go back 13 years, that's where I started. If everything I played around with at that time, everything I was playing around at that time, I wasn't super impressed with. And I didn't really go down that route. I probably would have just done native dev. I probably would have done, I've done a lot of Objective-C and Java work back in the day. So that's probably what I would have done. I guess present day, if there was no, okay, so I'm gonna take this to the question, which would be, there's no way to build any iOS apps in C#, because if Maui and Xamarin don't exist, that means Avalonia and Uno don't exist for mobile. They would for desktop, but they wouldn't for mobile. And as a mobile developer, right, that's what I would look at, because I want to build iOS and Android apps. It's hard to say. I'd probably, I would look at Kotlin multi-platform, but I don't think that would be my jam. It's hard. If there was nothing else out there, right, I don't think I would. I'm not a web person, so I really wouldn't look at like React Native or any phone gappy stuff that's still out there today, or Ionic, for example, just because I'm not a web developer. I'd probably that really only leaves like Flutter at that point, if there were no C# ways of building iOS and Android apps. But that would be like present day. Else, I'd probably just end up building like Swift UI applications and Kotlin applications separately. Just hard to say. Maybe not at all. Maybe I probably wouldn't. I would probably just continue to build Windows apps or just C# apps, and like no, I wouldn't have. Maybe I wouldn't have built at all, probably any mobile apps at all. Yeah. Good question though. Marco says, I feel like native UI is less important than just using Blazor web views. I feel only reason I need native UI is to have native functionality in particular cases. Any thoughts on that? Well, then anything with Blazor hybrid, you still have access to integrate all the native APIs, and you can mix and match different UIs natively as well. So I don't know. The performance is probably going to be equal. I don't know. Like performance on these devices are so good. You know what I mean? At this point. But yeah, if you're integrating native functionality, then, depends on what native functionality you need to blend in. There's probably so many web apps that are on your phone or web components on your phone that, you're good. But I do like that, Blazor Hybrid, you can kind of mix and match those technologies out there. Yeah. Start contributing to Maui repo. That's a great question. I would probably build a few libraries separately first, kind of like learn the architecture of the different handlers, like how to build your own first. And then what I would do is I think in the repo, there's a bunch of like, first, best, good first issues for people type of stuff. So take a look at that. And then pull it down and find a bug and try to fix it. Depends if you want to like just fix bugs or if you want to, they have a great documentation. The documentation team has great docs on like, or the dev team has great docs on like pulling it down, building it, and doing stuff. Ideally, if you just have like something that's bothering you, that's what I would do. As far as like adding large pieces of functionality, you got to go through a review process and follow the process there. But that's probably what I would, go down that route. Yeah, first and foremost. All right, let's see if we got anything else in here. Any tips on making videos about Maui? Yeah, just show off stuff that you think is awesome, that you want to help people with. It depends. You can go down the route of like, do you want to do tutorials or you want to like show cool stuff? Like I want to show you how to do these things. So it really depends. Like the VS Code channel does great, like, 5, 6, 7-minute videos kind of walking through like highlights of different things like tooling, what people might know. Depends, like, try to be unique, on things that you're building. Like if you look at like what Gerald and I do, it's similar but different in a way. We're not the only people that are creating videos on Maui and .NET, but Nick has a different, Chapsis has a different approach to the videos he makes versus the videos that Tim Corey makes versus like what Layla makes, what we make for the .NET channel. So this really depends. Be crisp to a point. The things that I've learned is like, don't skip steps. Like if it's supposed to be a tutorial that people are walking through, you know what I mean? So there's that. Yeah. Oh, there's a bunch of other questions in here. Marco asks, any support to add a web to the default Maui project? Some of what Flutter does. The new Blazor hybrid templates in .NET 9 have that built in, but you can do that today, obviously, and just add one in there as well. With a VS for Mac discontinued in August, will VS Code be fully baked? Is a code editor, so I'm gonna have like all the features, obviously, but I only have VS Code. I don't have VS for Mac installed on my machine anymore. I haven't had it for several months, so I do all my work in VS Code. Okay, cool. Amp says, with Windows on ARM, which I'm excited about, getting great reviews, will something like Windows Subsystem for Android make a comeback, especially for running Android apps? WSA. I run a WSA on my ARM machine currently. I run an ARM machine. I have run an ARM machine since before Project Volterra came out. I was an early internal inside tester. Project Volterra, the Windows dev machine. I'm excited to get the new Snapdragon dev box. I think the orders are going to start like next month. I can't wait to get that. It's gonna be my new main machine. For Android, it's a good question. I guess I would lean towards Google providing working Android emulators on Windows ARM, which I think will happen. And hopefully soon, because that's what happened with the M1 processors. Is like, if you remember, like when M1s came out, like there wasn't really an Android emulator that worked really well there, and then they came out with an ARM-based Android emulator for Mac, and they just need to do the same for Windows, and then we'll be good to go. I would rather see that because that'll be up to date and like full featured with different and integrated into different ecosystems easier and into normal dev experiences. I'd rather see that, I guess. I love WSA. In general, but I don't, unless something else happens, I don't think so. But yeah, I would love to see those like normal Android emulators exist, because you want to have WSA like on my Windows laptop here, my Surface Laptop 4. Like I use both of them basically when I was doing development based on my needs and different form factors and things like that. Else, I'll just have my Android device out, I guess, and use Visor and Screenmare. Yeah. Any content plan for SLMs embedded in Maui and Blazor Hybrid? That's a good question. Scott Hanselman and Mark Rusinovich did a demo at Build. It's on Mark Rusinovich's GitHub account, which is like a desktop cleaning application, which actually did embed SLMs or small language models, the opposite of LLMs, into it. So definitely check that out. It's a good question, though. Well, I'll talk to the team about that. See if we have like more demos. We're just talking about that internally, which would be cool. Let's see if we got anything else. Eric says, is it possible to make a tutorial on how to make a Maui app into a web app and vice versa? Like Facebook has a mobile app and a web app. I mean, it's more on like the in that scenario, it'd be like more of a Blazor hybrid if you want a single code base, or you just make a great mobile app and you make a great desktop app, and just kind of go from there. Like, Facebook and Facebook mobile are I can't imagine they're the same applications. They're very separate to different applications that do very separate things. Might be shared components between the two. That'd be about it. Yeah. Alan says, congrats. Thanks. I did it. I was born on this day. There you go. Beshkin says, hey, I watched you way backwards to C# programmer now. Awesome. That's awesome. Thanks to me, I hardly did anything. You did all the hard work. What's my birthday jam today? Oh. So if you've listened to my podcast with Frank and I's podcast, I'm not that cocky. It's our podcast. So we've done 416 episodes on. I recently have been resurrecting my music library, my MP3s. I downloaded all of them from Google, YouTube Music, and I now have them on like little MP3 players that we got off of Amazon and AliExpress. It's going great. It's super good. I've been listening a lot to a band that is no longer around. They've been, I guess, for the last 10 years or so. I haven't really done much. But there's a band called Wallpaper, and Wallpaper with a dot at the end. Ricky Reed is the main singer. But I've seen Wallpaper live many times as well. I simply love the music and the albums that are there. That's literally the music I was listening to before this. Well, thank you so much, Beshkins, for the sweet donation. I appreciate that. Thank you. The other people that I've been listening to or have, and also in the similar vein, is another band that's like no longer around, which is Brochill. Huge fan out of Portland. Them have been doing stuff for they split and did their own thing for a while. I've seen them live multiple times. They have great music as well. So it's like Wallpaper and Brochill. I'm always listening to Brochill all the time. Those are like my jams, I would say, currently. But yeah, it's good stuff. I'm seeing Bush later this year, which would be pretty rad. Just trying to stay up on that. Yeah, but good question, John. All right, I got another question, and then two, or we'll be out of here. Do you usually choose what kind of cake you want, or should it be a surprise? It's a good question. I don't eat a lot of cake. My wife loves lemon meringue, which I was often very confused and confused that early on in our relationship with key lime pie. Those are two different pies that are out there. I stay away mostly from cake and other things as much as I can. I try to eat lower carbs, more like Atkins diet type of stuff. Although I think we were just at grocery outlet, and I think we did buy a little like cake in a can type of thing. So we'll see if we eat that tonight or something like that. I also think a surprise. I think I didn't know any surprise. As a kid, we used to eat like the Dairy Queen ice cream cake with the little crunchies in there, and I can eat them with my braces. But like now, that would be our jam growing up. Were like the ice cream cakes from Dairy Queen. I haven't had one of those in a while, but yeah. Here we go. Eric says, I'm not super familiar. Blazor or Blazor hybrid? Yeah, great question. Blazor is a full stack web framework on ASP.NET Core for building web apps all in C# and .NET. So to write JavaScript or things like that. And then Blazor hybrid basically is a components that enable Blazor web views and Blazor components to render on different platforms in .NET. So in WinForms, WPF, and .NET Maui. So basically, a Blazor web view sits inside of a main page or any page inside of a Maui app, and then you still have the Maui app shell, and then Blazor components that are rendering web components out on each platform, and then you can pick and choose as much as you want to go either way. So there you go. Let's see what else. Is VS Code okay to develop on? Yes. It's GA. Yeah, it's pretty good. I like it. All right, last question, and then we'll pop out of here. Bruno asks, any tutorial book course you suggest on deep dive on Maui? Know how to use bindings, MVVM, like more like handlers and native integration works? That's a great question. There are plenty of Maui books out there. A lot of the stuff that I do or that are like on the .NET channel are more beginner stuff. I take a look. There's plenty of different books from different authors out there. I would just take a look on Amazon or wherever you get your books at to see what's out there today. You look for some more advanced topics. Those tutorials, I mean, the documentation's super good as far as like doing custom handlers and integration works. I'd definitely take a look there first and foremost going in there. So Beshkin says, yeah, I tried the latest Avalon. You haven't tried it myself, but I talk to Mike James all the time. Yeah, no, they're doing a great job. It says late to the party, but you're here. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Beshkin says, taught him MVVM. Awesome. Appreciate that. Enrique, thank you so much for that. Happy birthday. All right. Don't buy a truck. What are you going to do with a truck? You don't need that. Buy a used car, like a smart car like me. What are you hauling? Don't buy a car. I'll see CJ. I don't know, CJ. Good question. You have to. Too advanced. I don't know. I don't know. Seems like something going on with your app and your await. All right, well, that's gonna do it. Well, thanks everybody for hanging out and asking me lots of questions. I appreciate it. Let's do some confetti. We did it all together. Thanks for subscribing to the YouTube channel. If you're a subscriber, we got videos that come out here like all the time, which is super rad. I don't know how much live coding I'll do here and there, but we'll see on occasion. You'll see how it works out. If you want me to do stuff, definitely let me know in the comments on anything like that. I hope everyone has a great day, evening, afternoon, wherever you happen to be, whatever the rest of your time looks like. And thanks for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. So I guess until next year, possibly, we'll do a stream. Maybe before that, we'll see. But thanks for all the great questions. And yeah, thanks for hanging out. And I'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.